Hello, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to the channel. My name is Stephen Velt, and this is my journey to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. Today, I just want to give everyone an update as to where I am in the process with permitting and logistics and all those other nitty-gritties. So, to start, let's talk about the trail permit. Back in October 29th, the original set of permits were released, and I did, fortunately, get a permit on that date. It was very early. My original permit date was March the 6th. So I didn't really start planning too much around that date, as I was really hoping in January to get an updated permit date. So 2 weeks ago, on January 14th, the other 15 permits per day for the 3-month period of start dates were released, and I was fortunate enough to get a really low queue number and got pretty much exactly the date that I wanted to start the Pacific Crest Trail. So very fortunate to have had that happen. And so after that, in the past 2 weeks, I've really done a lot more logistics around the trail. So yesterday, my permit application was approved and has now been issued, so I can go on the permit management portal and print my trail permit, finally. So when I originally got my permit, naturally, directly after I started looking at what other permits are necessary, and of course the California Campfire permit is necessary. So I applied for that at the time. Little did I know that it expires in December of the year that you have applied for it. So it expired on New Year's Day this year. So on New Year's Day, having known that, I reapplied for that campfire permit for California, which is necessary, even though I'm not planning to have campfires, but it's necessary to use a camp stove as well. So California campfire permit out of the way, that's secured. The other permit item that I had to apply for was the Pacific Crest Trail entry permit into Canada. So to get back home into my home country, instead of turning around at the end of the trail and hiking, I think it's 26 or some miles back to Harts Pass and getting a ride out of there, I can just walk another 7 or so kilometers into Manning Park, BC after completing the trail, and then I'll be home-ish, and I'll be able to figure out how I want to get from Manning Park back to Ontario. So shortly after the permit was originally released, I began the process of requesting an absence from work in order to facilitate this whole process. It took them a little while to make the decision, which was a little bit concerning as to whether or not it would get approved. I did have a plan B in the works. I won't really speak to what that was, but I was planning to hike the trail this year no matter what. So moving forward, it looks like everything has been approved and they will give me the time off. I had a meeting with the managers and our admin council, and they took a lot of time, like I said, to really evaluate the implications of this leave and how it would affect the department. But they ultimately, of course, they wanted to reward the hard work that I've been doing for them for the past 13 years. That I've been working there. After I was able to get my preferred permit start date in April, the start date's in April. In January, I acquired that start date. I was able to begin planning for the time that I would be pre-trail, arriving in San Diego and getting to the trailhead. So I have booked plane tickets. I have connected with Scout and Frodo. They are two amazing trail angels who have been hosting hikers for years, and just making the process of getting off of the plane and getting to the trailhead as smooth as possible. A lot of people say that their first day on trail was their worst, just given the logistics of getting from either LAX or the San Diego airport through to Campo, and from Campo to the Mexican border where the trail starts. So these trail angels, Scout and Frodo, tremendous respect. I don't know how they've done it for so many years and how they've maintained their sanity hosting so many hikers, but I will be one of them. And that's a little bit special this year because this will be their last year hosting hikers, they have announced. So I'm very happy to have the opportunity to stay with them before starting the trail. Another item that was on my radar was the Badger sponsorship put on by thetrek.co. This is the producers of the Backpacker Radio podcast, one that I've been listening to for quite some time. With the help of their sponsors, they were able to put together an over $10,000 prize package to go towards 8 recipients of this Badger sponsorship. So this year they made the sponsorship based on how you are giving back to the trail and how you're being a force for positivity on the trail. And given my background, I felt that I had a pretty decent shot of being a recipient of this sponsorship. So 2 weeks ago, I submitted my application. And yesterday, I just received notice that I was not a successful recipient of the Badger sponsorship, unfortunately, but that won't really affect how I am conducting myself on the trail. I did receive a follow-up email indicating that they really appreciated my submission, and they spoke to how well-crafted it was and how far through the vetting process that I did make in almost being a recipient of the Badger sponsorship. So at this point, the winners have not yet been announced, but I am absolutely looking forward to seeing the amazing people that they have selected. Speaking to how I'm giving back to the trail, one of my main points within my application to the Badger sponsorship was the Pacific Crest Trail Google Earth Tour project that I've been working on. I started this project over my Christmas holidays from work. I originally approached the Pacific Crest Trail 2020 class Facebook group with just a really crude video that I'd produced from Google Earth and asked people what they thought and how I could make it better. So over the next couple of days, I refined what the video looked like through their feedback. And after that, I began the long process of producing 29 trail sections worth of rendered Google Earth video. I'm happy to say that that project is now complete, in that all of the videos have been produced. If you are enjoying them, have no fear, they will all be released. If anybody has tried to figure out how YouTube works, you can appreciate why I am not releasing all of those videos at once. They are set up on a schedule, and the last video section, Washington L, will release on April 7th. Further to how I will be giving back to the trail, absolutely all of the monetization money that I can produce from this video series, I will be donating to the Pacific Crest Trail Association. At this point, I don't have enough subscribers, and public view time, so watch them, to get me to the point to where I can monetize them and then begin to give that money back to the Trail Association. So it takes 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public hours of viewing time to be able to monetize your videos. So once that happens, like I said, I'll be giving that money by donation to the Pacific Crest Trail Association, and any further projects of that sort that I'll be working on, whether for the Appalachian Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, the Te Aurora, or anything else around the world. If I do produce any more series of that sort, I will absolutely be donating that money to their respective trail associations. So what else is left to do? Mostly everything is done. I'm working on putting together my resupplies. At this point, I plan to send a few from home and then resupply myself from trail, either from Tehachapi into the Sierra, South Lake Tahoe into Northern California, Mount Shasta into Oregon, and Bend into Washington. That will be pretty much the gist of my resupply strategy, so I just have to get together a few boxes to send from home. What else? I shared my lighter pack gear list with the wonderful people of the Pacific Crest Trail Class of 2020 Facebook group, and they absolutely shredded it to pieces. In a good way, in a very good way. So I got a lot of feedback on the gear that I was planning to bring and what is absolutely necessary, what should stay home, and what I will probably be sending home early on the trail, but maybe I am a little bit too bullheaded at this point yet to make the decision to leave it at home. Gear is coming together, resupply is coming together, the permit situation. The last two items I'll speak to: mental preparation and physical preparation. I have been visualizing a lot of things in regards to hiking this trail. I've done a lot of long distance hiking in my past. You can look at the other videos on my channel to see what was included in that, between the Lake Superior Coastal, the Puckasaw Coastal, Killarney, and the East Coast Trail in Newfoundland are all trails in my backpacker resume. Physical preparation: I've been doing some cross-country skiing and snowshoeing and just maintaining my current level of physical fitness. Maybe I'll try to put on a little bit of weight. So I just want to thank everyone for supporting me in this journey. Please like and subscribe and interact. I'm very open to anybody's questions and comments. Um, it's just a couple of months away, and so far as how I'm feeling at this point, a lot of folks are feeling anxious, maybe unprepared, maybe they're overly excited, maybe they are dreading their start date, maybe they're worried about snow, maybe they're worried about any number of other things. But for me right now, it still just feels very surreal. I've wanted to do this for quite a few years, and now that everything's coming together so well, I'm just I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I have this opportunity to hike this beautiful trail, and I hope you'll join me in this journey and follow along. Thanks everyone for watching.